I can safely say that monitor innovation has been pretty strong in the last couple years. Not so long ago, updates were only incremental, so it's nice to finally see some new stuff coming out. And similarly, we've had a bunch of ultra-wide monitors, but only recently did they start to pick up my interest with 5K by 2K resolutions. Today, however, we're not looking at an ultra-wide, but an Ultratall. I know I'm a bit late to the party, many other YouTubers already reviewed the LG DualUp, but I believe I bring a different perspective from a software developer and video editor standpoint. I didn't really like the Ergo Dual I tested some time ago, an array of 27-inch 2.5K monitors, but I feel quite different about the DualUp, so let me tell you where I think it truly shines.
I think the DualUp is finally the vertical monitor developers have been waiting for. In the past, I've used a dual 4K monitor setup with the vertical plus horizontal layout. That was back in 2018, but even at 4K, a standard monitor in vertical mode just isn't wide enough for most tasks in my view. Sure, you can see a lot of code at once vertically speaking, but whether it is to look at a diff side by side, do some code reviews, or just basic tasks like having an instant messaging app open, you have to compromise on anything that requires a bit of width. On the contrary, the DualUp offers a pixel width of 2560, which is plenty good for pretty much anything, considering many use standard monitors that have this horizontal pixel count. For backend development, I like to go full screen and still have room for side panels, such as an explorer to navigate the folder structure of my project, and plenty of space at the bottom for my console. This way, I can see more logs at once without hiding the actual code I'm editing at the same time. With the same pixel per inch count as a 32-inch 4K monitor, the pixel density on the DualUp is great, which results in super crisp text, and that is really important to me. On my Mac, I tend to use the 2x scaling option as all UI elements stay sharp. It does result in bigger text, but I just zoom out a bit in the apps that I use to get a comfortable viewing experience. But otherwise, I find this layout to be great for code reviews. I like to check out the code branch I'm reviewing to have a better picture of the impact of someone's changes, and this way I can have GitHub on top of my editor with the code branch checked out at the bottom. This results in two 16:9 windows with more horizontal space, which is great for a diff. I don't need as much vertical room when reviewing compared to when I'm coding, so my console can rest hidden. Finally, for front-end development, the DualUp also plays nicely as one can have a browser and an editor all at once, which is perfect to observe changes as they are made. The browser window is effectively a 1440p monitor, which is a pretty common resolution and aspect ratio, making it great to test as well. In conclusion, I think this is a great replacement for the traditional landscape monitor used in portrait mode. However, I would use it alongside another monitor, at least a laptop screen, just so I can have some room for instant messaging apps, media players, or anything alike. As a video editor, I've learned to enjoy the benefits of the DualUp's layouts, especially when editing vertical videos. With usual monitors, the content and the screen's aspect ratios are so conflictual that the preview window becomes incredibly small. This monitor lets me have a larger viewer than any other monitor I've had the chance to work with. But even for regular 16:9 content, the vertical split can serve as a super large preview window with still plenty of room for the timeline and side panels. Not only that, the panel on the LG's DualUp uses the Nano IPS technology, which allows coverage of up to 98% of the DCI-P3 color space, effectively outputting super accurate colors, which I've noticed right away as I started using it. While it's not the brightest at 300 nits, I find it to be plenty enough for its intended productivity and media creation use cases. If you do not fall within the two use cases I described earlier, you may still greatly enjoy LG's DualUp. I found that the stack vertical config was great for productivity in general, allowing for two 16:9 windows. As an example, while scripting this exact video, I had the Notion app and the monitor spec sheet stack on top of each other instead of having to alternate between the two. It's also loaded with ports, including two HDMIs, one DisplayPort, and one USB-C, the latter allowing for video, 90 watts charging, and USB peripherals with a single cable to a laptop. The DualUp also has two USB 3.0 ports to connect peripherals, and these can be shared between two computers connected to the monitor with its built-in KVM switch, effectively connecting the peripherals to the computer in use. It's also worth noting that being part of LG's Ergo line, it comes with a very solid monitor arm that allows lateral, vertical, and depth adjustments, and the monitor mount allows tilt, swivel, and rotation movements in case you wanted to use it in landscape mode. The only requirement is a surface to clamp it to with a maximum thickness of 2.9 inches. Unless you have very specific needs, I don't think most people would replace this arm with something else. Given it's more of a specialty monitor, many will likely benefit from it as a secondary display than if used standalone. However, it would be pretty nice as a sole monitor for smaller setups, like this wall-mounted desk setup that definitely benefits from more vertical screen real estate. I made a video some time ago on this wall-mounted desk from Ergotron, featuring a small Visa rack at the back to hold a laptop, and the DualUp is a great monitor for this compact setup.
While this is clearly not for everyone, there's a crowd that will truly enjoy the DualUp. To me, this is a much better vertical monitor than any 16:9 unit in portrait mode, and that alone is a pretty strong use case for it. Alright, let me know what you think about the LG DualUp down below. If you own one, what are you using it for? And if you don't, would you consider getting one? As always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, as I'll see you in the next video.